Okay, so now that we've created the account for him in Salesforce and WordPress, I'm going to toggle back over to WordPress so you can take a look at creating appointments and stuff. But also, I want to show you real quick. Hold on one second. I want to show you something about your dashboard. Let's go to Veterans, Member Dashboard. You now have an admin panel, and I showed you how to create an account in there, but I didn't really explain this button. This button's only available to you and me, so you have to be your account or my account to see it. Jake account or Melissa's account. Um, so in that admin panel, you get to not only create users, right? There are some things that I'll play with. Anything below debug line, just don't ever mess with. It's not anything that'll mess things up, but it's tests that I do, so it won't be really relevant. Anything above debug line is going to be stuff that is working. So right here we have view member data and we have create account. You've used create account to make the account, but let's look at that person's dashboard now. We created him and his site user ID was 3187. So you put that in there. Don't put a comma or anything like that in Salesforce. Notice it adds a comma to that value. You don't want to put the comma in. I don't know why Salesforce does that really, but we'll take that comma out. So you put in your 3187 and just look up record, and you see now we're looking at John Wright's record, right? This is his dashboard. He doesn't have any cases or anything like that, and there's a notice telling you, hey, you're in viewer mode looking at somebody else's dashboard, right? So we can close this, and notice we're back to your dashboard. So we can see that we successfully created the WordPress account by using that tool, and see that it connected to Salesforce. Because if you use this admin panel and you put in the wrong number, 2024, any wrong number, you'll see the wrong data. So you want to make sure you tie the accounts correctly, because you don't want uh, a, a like to give privileges to someone who's one of our veterans who shouldn't see a bunch of other veterans' data. So you want to make sure you tie these accounts correctly. So you put that 3187 in there. You can see what the account is. The next thing to do is to set up the appointments in the scheduler. And then I'm going to show you the changes that I made to the scheduler that should make it so you don't have to micromanage things anymore. So let's take a look at the scheduler. I'm going up here to this button that says ScheduleLift Program and then Dashboard, and that's going to take us to the WordPress backend where you can go to Appointments and then Providers. Now I've already added him. I'm going to go ahead and trash it so that we can add him again. I was just adding it to test it. But from here you can see we have 3 providers listed. We just want to go up here to Add Provider, and then we're going to put in his information, John Wright. And we'll fill in his email address, J. Wright. This is a ScheduleLift Fund address. I don't know why it's not auto-completing. There we go. And you don't have to mess with this at all. You don't have to mess with this at all. What you want to do is set any days off. This would be like vacation days. These aren't like he's off every Sunday or something like that. This would be for vacations. So we don't have anything like that, so we're not going to mark them. But these aren't recurring things. It's just like blocking off time. And you can do that after you create it too. You can always manage a person's time. The thing you want to do is you want to schedule the hours that he's available. And that's real easy. Say he's available from 8:45 to, say, let's see, not too much time. Say he's available till 10:30 on Mondays and Thursdays, and then he's also available from 8:45 to, say, another time like 11:20 on Fridays, and that's his whole schedule. And let's also say that he starts on July 31st. That's his first day, and we don't have an end date for him right now. But if he decides to quit, we can put an end date. So he'll be available for all these times on these days, and you can add all of the hours that you want for whatever days. And then you just go up here, you choose a color for him. This will show up what the calendar shows up. And this can just be any color. You can drag it any way you want. If you just randomly drag it around, you'll be able to see blocks of different people's assignments in the calendar real easy. You don't have to like make an effort to choose a color. And you have to fill in the services that they provide. Like he provides application interviews. Once all that's done, all you have to do is publish the post, and that will create a new provider for us. And if we go in here now and list the providers again, you see John Wright is available now. So that's it for assigning a coach and setting up their hours. As you assign tons of these, you're going to get a lot easier time managing the number of interviews that we can do in a week. I'm going to show you next, from a vet's point of view, what it's like to schedule interviews and what I've done to make it less micromanaged or necessary to micromanage it, and how it randomly assigns people so Jason Smith doesn't just get all the interviews moving forward. So I'm going to go ahead and actually log out of this account, and I'm going to log back into the Jake account. And I'm doing that because I can control Jake's the tasks that are available to Jake very easily without messing up your account. So that's the only reason I'm changing over. I'm just more comfortable in there. Okay, and I need to go to the dashboard. All right. So anytime you're on this website, by the way, if you see this logo and you're logged in and you don't see the stuff you expect to, just go over here to Veterans Member Dashboard. It means you're logged in, and when you get to the dashboard, it'll look familiar, okay? It's something that's going to happen to your account because you have privileges on our whole network to access the network. But if you look under here under My Sites, you'll only see the program site. You don't have actual privileges on all three of our websites like I do. You'll only see Catch Lift Program and Dashboard there. But you still log into the main admin now. So let's take a look at what I was telling you about interviews. Jake already has a case that is set up as interview pending. And you can see that case says please click here to schedule. So let's see what happens. It used to say no preference for provider. Now it's set to Jason Smith in this case. But every time we arrive at this page, it randomizes who the provider is. And notice the dates available are even different. But say they look at those dates and say, that doesn't work for me. They can choose one, and it'll show them dates that are available, and there aren't any available there for those guys. But there are for those two. And if you went further ahead, you'd even see some for John Wright, right? So when you arrive at this page, it randomizes every time, right? So see, our vets won't all pile up on Jason Smith. And if they don't see something available, they can always scroll around or change provider. We may need to provide a note that says to do that even, but most people are just going to see the dates available, choose it, and then choose a time, and then go. Like I said, this should all take care of the scheduling. The scheduling should handle itself if you guys only put in the hours that you actually want to do interviews. Because we'll have so many people doing them, we don't need to cover like tons of time in a week. Jason should say, I'll do interviews on Thursdays in the afternoon and set some time if you don't want him to be doing more than a couple a week. That's the way we should do it, and then we'll have coverage because we'll have different different volunteers and coaches working at all kinds of different times, and it'll just fill in availability. Where we'll run into a problem is where you guys schedule over availability, like saying Jason's available 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. He's still going to get an abundance of schedules, so let's not do that. Let me know if you have any questions about setting the times and how that translates to this page where people are scheduling interviews, because I want that to be very easy for you, and I can help you get that going. That's probably the most complex part of what I've shown you here. So let me know if you have any questions. We'll need to set up the first ones together. I am available to do that with you tomorrow. I'd like to have these guys ready to start scheduling. You see he's got, or if we select Jason Wright, he's got availability starting right up. So we'll have to set his hours properly. But you can see everything's working and everything can be created from your account. So all that stuff is set up. Anyhow, I'll be in tomorrow after 9:30. Just give me a call whenever you're ready or send me an email, and we'll make time to work through some of this tomorrow. Thanks a lot for your patience in getting this together. It took a little longer than I expected, but once again, thanks for your patience. Let me know if you have questions. Thanks.